Hello and welcome to another Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan C.P. Steele and I will be your nerd today and any other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. Alright, let's dive in. And the reason why we're going to dive in is because today is going to be a relatively quick episode because I am swamped. I know I say that all the time, but I have got Gamma next week, which actually is why, unless I manage to squeeze in some time to film an episode next week, I will probably be taking next week off from the channel. I'm very sorry. But Gamma is a trade show in Louisville, Kentucky, which means I will be traveling when I normally record my videos, and I will probably get home too late for me to get something decent put together for next week's upload. Plus, I am starting to get into the thick of trying to get as much stuff finished before I head off. I've got 3 conventions in effectively 5 weeks, so I have a lot to get done, which means I don't have a whole lot of free time to be able to do these sorts of things. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Personal, things are great. Things are doing great. It's snowy and cold here again. You can probably hear my heater in the background. Indiana weather is fickle, we'll just say. And we're supposed to see 50s in a couple of days. So, who knows? It is what it is. You just got to take it one day at a time. Everything else is going all right in the world of Bryan as far as that goes. Hobby. I have hobby news. Not only did Natalie and myself finish all of the Tinker Turf terrain, it is all assembled and boxed and crated and ready to go to Adepticon next month. But I managed to, I keep talking about how I had a handful of models that I needed to get done for GaryCon. They're done. I had kind of a stressy day recently, and one of the best ways for me to de-stress is to paint minis. So I went ahead and was like, you know what, I've got to get this stuff done anyway, and I want to shed some of the stress. So I put those two things together, and bam, all of the models I need for GaryCon are done. And I actually officially started my charity auction project for GameholeCon. That one's going to be a long time coming because I'm really going to want to put as much love into it as possible. Plus, there's a lot of magnet work and putty work and things that need to be arranged for that to be done. So lots of hobbying, honestly enough, which makes me very happy. Super cool, super cool, super cool. Gameplay-wise, I played some video games. That's about it. But I've been so busy working and stuff, I haven't had a chance to do much of anything else. And several of the games that I play on the reg are kind of on hold / scheduling issues, mostly because of me, because I'm so damn busy. But that's really all I had a chance to get in. I know that that's not much, but it is what it is. Let's see. Gaming, personal hobby, work. Work is work. Work is constant. I put some things to bed with Evil Genius. We're starting to line up some new art and some new projects. I have officially started putting words down for the Everyday 20s expansion, basically how to play Everyday Heroes in the Roaring 20s, which should be a lot of fun, and there's an adventure that goes along with that. That'll be available on the Sidekick eventually. Let's see what else. Sounds like I'm gonna probably be putting down some more of the Wildkin for Dungeon in a Box for their Wildkin 5e book. Those are always fun, making basically D&D Pokemon. I have a lot of fun with that. and Shadowrun, words. I need to put a couple other small things to bed so I can get back to the novel. But I turned in a short story, and I turned in my next column for the next issue of Augment. Which, by the way, I will put the address for the print on demand of Augment issue 1 in the description of the video, because it is now officially, it is live. You can get it print on demand, which I'm very excited to get my print on demand copy, because it's an interesting, it's a cool thing, and if I can get it before I go to GaryCon, because I think I'm playing, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm playing Hollywood at GaryCon once. So I think I'm going to, maybe, if I can get my print-on-demand copy by then, is have a print-on-demand copy to, like, flip through while I'm bored on stage. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, so work is going really well. Warzone fulfillment, I know people are starting to get their shipping notices and stuff for stuff, going out. Alex is hard at work up in Michigan, getting models packed into their various packages and the like. We're getting psyched for getting super psyched for the tournament. Little bit of inside baseball. We have I don't want to say streamlined the playtesting. That's not right. Streamlined the data situation for playtesters, making it a little easier for the playtesters to take their notes and to deliver information. And I went ahead and Alex and I, we got we set up the playtesters with a whole new chunk of units to start messing with. More on that in the future, obviously. I can't really talk about it now, but it is very, very cool, and so far the response has been positive, not necessarily from a rules crunch standpoint, but just kind of the general how we're putting these sorts of models into play. So I know that's very vague, your vagueness, but I am I'm very confident that when we have more information, and as we get past fulfillment and get past Eternals and start moving into, okay, what comes next, you'll start hearing more out of us when that starts to happen. Xeogenesis, I did a little bit with it. This month was kind of a light on getting some dev work from them, but that was mostly my fault. I've just got so many other things going on. This month and next month are probably gonna be very light on getting any real crunch work done for them. And I'll make sure to talk to Danny and hope that I'm not slacking on my duties. But yeah, I think that's it. I know it's like the fastest week in Bryan ever. Oh, that is not true. There is another week in Bryan. Another point to this is, so a little delayed, but my lovely wife got me my Valentine's Day gift, and I am now a dedicated follower and contributor to the Sloth Conservation Foundation through Follow, which allows you to actually, using a little QR code that I'm going to cover up so you guys don't get access to my sloth, that you basically not petition, you sponsor a sloth, and I can go onto a website on my phone and look up what she has been doing and where, like, basically she's tagged. She's got a geo-tracker that allows me to see what she's up to. Now, mind you, she's a sloth, so unlike some of the other things through Follow, you can keep tabs on and whatnot, which might be swimming for many, many miles every day. I think my last movement was it was less than 1/10 of a mile, and it was almost a week ago. I mean, it's a sloth, but Natalie knows that that sloths are some of my favorite animals, and even just knowing that I've got one out there that I can keep my eyes on. Miss Esmeralda is my sloth. So that was very cool. Thank you, baby. Oh, and it came with a cool little bracelet that's a little bit small for me, but it has this neat little thing to show you. It's got this neat little sloth bead that's holding a bead. Yeah. So I don't wear my jewelry very often, but I figure I will because it's my little Esmeralda. All right. So Weekend Bryan is done. Let's get into why I wanted to have this episode this week. So something started shipping. I have a copy right here. I have my contributor copy. I'll explain that in a little bit. Of Wraith the Giants. So Wraith the Giants, you'll notice that it is sealed. You're actually getting the straight up unboxing. To take a look at these. Wraith the Giants is a solo hero series game by Renegade Games, made by Scott Alms, is the actual maker of the game. I do not know the retail on this. Do I know the retail price? I do not know the retail price. It is. I'll read the back of the Actually, I'm going to get the shrink wrap. Shrimp wrap. Man, now I'm hungry with shrimp wraps. Get the shrink wrap off first, and we will tell you what it. So, if you've been with me long enough, you know that I used to work with Renegade. I helped build the Essence 20 system, and I did a lot of work for a couple of years, especially during the tail end of the pandemic. And one of the things that I did do, I worked with Dan, their head of their board game design stuff. I did a lot of narrative work for some of the board games. And he reached out to me. At this point, it's been about a year. 6 months. Maybe more. No, it definitely was before Gen Con last year. So 6-8 months. And I was explaining that there's another solo game that he wanted me to write the narrative for. And it is about this kind of spiritual warrior called the Wraith, who goes out and fights these elemental titans, the giants, and each board is basically the body of the giant, and it's pretty cool. But let me read this. Every 23 years since time unknown, giants have risen from the lands beyond, marching toward. Wait, I screwed that up. Let's try that again. Every 23 years since time unknown, giants have risen from the lands beyond, marching towards the village to feed. Your grandmother fought and defeated these monsters while she was alive. The duty had fallen to her upon the death of her grandmother, and so forth back as far as legend records. Your grandmother is gone, so you now must take up her sword and bow as a living shadow. Can you continue the story and protect the village from a catastrophic end? Wraith the Giants is a solitaire game of epic battles with elemental giants. Progress through 4 unique boss fights at 3 different Wraith ages for huge replayability. Chain your card combos to scar and defeat the giants. Alright, so let's get this thing popped open. So what I have here is the main box, the main game, and then there's actually an expansion to the game called New Dawn that introduces a new giant and a new kind of wraith that we'll talk about here in a second. Let's get this open. Wraith the Giants. I'm actually going to set this over here. So a cool little background. You can see the Wraith the Giants thing. All right, so we have Proving Grounds is the... Oh, that's actually a bunch of solo series games from Renegade. We've got Legacy of You, Proving Grounds, Reckland Run, which that's another one that I wrote on. and Unstoppable. These are just some of the games that are on the advertisement that came in the box. All right. Now we get. So here is the rule book, Wraith and the Giants. It's just a little, pamphlet book. Looks like 20 pages. All right. Oh, well, looky here. It says narrative author, Bryan C.P. Steele. Guess what? I wrote the narrative for this. Okay, and then just basically tells you how to play the game. The box is packed with stuff. It's got 3 Wraith boards, 3 Wraith pawns, a Rage pawn with Rage card. It's got 3 Wraith decks, 30 cards in each, so there are 90 cards in there. 2 player aids, a storybook, foothold tokens, 1 board for each of the 4 giants, wound tokens, giant decks to show what they do. Yeah, so basically you play as the Wraith. Actually, let's go through here real quick. So there's the rulebook, and then we get the storybook. Oh, look at that, written by Bryan C.P. Steele. That's me. And so it is the various narrative tales of kind of showing what the Wraith is doing and how she's learning and growing over the defeat of the various giants. And there's a bunch of really cool art. Like, I mean, it's basically the art from all the various card elements, but it's just to give you an idea. Oh my gosh, look at these cute little pawns. Okay, these are adorable. So here is, I think this is the young Wraith. So they're just little wooden pawns, but they're fully colored. They same image on front and back, but that's fine. So there's one, and then I think this is the adult, or the other way around. I don't remember. One's basically there's a young, an adult, and then there's an elder, and then so there's another one. So if I can get it to, there we go. Come on, focus, zoom. All right, and then the elder Wraith. She had a crossbow and a dagger, or her sword on her back. All right, so that's cool. And we've got 4 decks of cards. So full-size cards, full color, everything there. It's got all the various symbols. And again, I have not played this, so I don't know. I can't speak to what any of these symbols mean, but I can at least unbox this and show you. Oh, some silica gel. Don't eat that. It says so right in the thing. We have a bunch of poly bags to hold all the counters and such. And then speaking of counters, okay, here we go. Here's the. Oh, that's cool. So the stuff doesn't rattle around in the box. There's a little spacer. Oh, nothing in there, so it's just a little spacer. But then we have a ton of cardboard. So when I said there were like sheets for the giants, they're like playboards. So we have counters of the 4 different elements, fire, wind, earth, and ice / water. We have all the wound tokens on their punch board. And then we've got the 3 Wraiths. Let's take a look at these. So on the back of the Wraith card, there's, oh, yeah, geez, getting all kinds of glare. There's a story. So this is the young Wraith with her bow. And it says, "The village is counting on you. Grandmother once raised her sword and bent her bow to stop the giants. And so shall you. Your heart is pure, your bravery untarnished, and your spirit stronger than anyone else's in the village. It has fallen upon you, as few summers under you as there have been, to become the Wraith and save your people. You must become as shadow, untouchable and flitting to the corners of perception as you use your ancestral blade and mystic arrows to find the weaknesses of these titanic threats. What you lack in experience, you make up for in vigor and determination, and hopefully a destiny of victory over the giants. So that is the young warrior. The elder wraith. So, oh, wait, no. Then the adult wraith is the one that's got bow on her back and the sword in hand. The giants will fall. You will make sure of it. Using all of the strength and agility your forebears passed on to you, along with the examples grandmother left from her ordeals, you will not let these monstrous titans succeed. Over the years, you have trained and steeled yourself in her shadow, man, I am having a hard time with words today. And the future of the village relies on everything you have learned up to this point. Grandmother did not leave you with just her skills and some teachable moments. She passed on to you the enhanced senses, endurance, and agility of the Wraith. When you need to, you can take a leap of faith and seemingly walk on the wind itself, see to the end of the horizon as sharp as an eagle, and watch bruises and minor scrapes disappear with but a single moment of rest. When you took on the mantle of Wraith, you also picked up the enchanted blade and bow that serves as the tools of your trade. No matter all the threats to your people you have felled in the past, this battle against the giants will be the toughest. You will defeat them. You must. And then the last one we have is the Elder Wraith. So she's got a crossbow. She still has that Ancestor blade, but she's definitely seen some more oomph. The days of relying on blade and bow are behind you. They are still the tools of the Wraith, but experience has unlocked other implements within you to bring about the end of the giants. The very magics that hold your enemies together as titans of the elements are no longer a mystery to you. The end to your Wraith's journey may be waiting in these, your sunset years, but you will not be done until the village is safe. For your long years of protecting your people have awakened you to a rare mystic gift of the Wraith. Your sword arm is not as strong as it once was, and you have traded the muscle-aching pull of your old bow for a simple crossbow. But what age has taken from your physicality is made up for by your mystic arts. The giants will be stopped, and your magic can be the key. Now, one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the front of these is these are basically like difficulty settings. So if you play as the young Wraith, you have 9, your limit is 9 wounds, but the giant's health is only 5 hearts. If you're playing as the adult, your wound limit is 7 wounds, and the giant's health goes up to 15. But if you're playing as the elder, you have only 5 wounds, but the giant's health goes up to 25. So it looks like, different ways to play as you get more accustomed to how the game works and the different gameplay, but it means that you have your own way to kind of gauge, how experienced you are with playing the game. Now, these last 4 cards are the giants, and they are thick and they are mighty. All right, so we have. Let's start with. I think let's start with water. Yeah, let's start with water. So the water giant, it's like has a little trifold or a little bifold. So folds out to this, and it's got the basically the different places that your Wraith can kind of jump and leap to these different spots. It says scars limit 3. Don't know what that means. And then wounds plus 40. So basically, you take the base health from your Wraith and add it to in the case of the water giant. If we were playing with the young Wraith, whose giant health is 5, plus the 40 from here, this basically would be a 45 health fight. And then it's got different, A's and B's and C's and E's. It's got basically there's different location numbers here that are listed for specific things, I'm assuming, that go with their deck. But also on the back, a little bit more narrative. Water giant. One of the few things in this world that can equally embody life and death, salvation and destruction, and the passage of time is water. The water giant takes the strength and power of every river, glacier, and the tide itself and gives it form. Beautiful and terrible, this monstrosity is a glistening engine of demolition. The water giant's body is carved from shining polar ice, but its surface flows with rivers of foam and rapids. Striding the world on spiked legs that drive down deep, it roots itself in place and thrashes everything within reach of its icy blades and freezing hail and rain. The water giant is as relentless as the tide and cares as little for what drowns in its depths. Dun dun dun! Water giant. All right, let's do air giant after that. So flip open the air giant if I can get it open. There we go. Air giant. Let's see. Big tornado walking around looking thing. And this one is wounds plus 40 as well, but this one has a scars limit of 4. Again, don't know what that means. Air giant. There is little in the world that comes on as suddenly to terrify the masses as a tornado, or the looming wall of debris and destruction at the edge of a hurricane, and the air giant is more devastating than both. It is a frightening mixture of swirling dust, detritus, uprooted trees, and the battered bodies of all who were not fast enough to avoid its path. Unlike the other giants that rise and plague this world, the air giant is not completely solid. Made from wind itself, it takes form as a thunderstorm, containing lightning, thunder, and everything the beast has swept up into its body. Its limbs are merely extensions of this tumult, forming legs despite not needing them, and arms for nothing short of annihilating anything it touches. Big, scary storm giant. Alright, now we have the Earth Giant. So Earth Giant looks like it might be the actual smallest one, because this one's only wounds plus 30. I probably should have started this one. Scars limit 3. Earth Giant. Heard long before it is seen, the Earth Giant is not solely a being of rock and soil. This titan is made from stone, turf, roots, and everything else that can be pulled up from the mantle of the world. It is a mountain that moves. Anything that gets in its way is crushed to rubble and absorbed into the bulk of the thing. It is a landslide given form, and animated with the endless force of an unchecked earthquake. 2 massive legs carry the Earth Giant's trunk-like body across the landscape, each dragging step leaving a trench of destruction in its wake. Something that catches its magma-filled eye might prompt it to twist and grind against itself to bring one of its 3 bedrock-clawed hands to bear, but its greatest weapon is simply the momentum that carries this juggernaut toward each conquest. Earth Giant. Dun dun dun. And then the last one that comes in this set, we have the Fire Giant. And so unlike the other giants that were tall, the Fire Giant had a bifold to make it wide, because he almost looks like a big twin-looking goofy thing. It has a scars limit of 4, so it has a higher scars limit, and then it actually has wounds plus 45. So this is obviously the toughest of the 4 that come in the main box. Fire Giant. Since it sparked to life and became mankind's first elemental tool, fire has both mystified and terrified. The Fire Giant is the personification of the fear and loss and pain that flames and heat have summoned across the generations. Encased in a shell of eternally churning magma, nothing gets near this titan without some kind of mystic protection against the inferno. The Fire Giant is a volcano on 4 legs, stomping and burning a path of molten death everywhere it awkwardly goes. Rivers of lava flow onto the ground beneath it, falling in fiery ribbons anywhere its shifting stone shell cracks or opens. Yawning mouths and open talons erupt with flame and intense heat, turning everything to ash or fuel for the Fire Giant. And so, yeah, so that's everything that comes in the box. Let's get this stuff put aside for now. Because real quick, I want to see what that whole thing about whatchamacallits. I want to see what the scars limit thing was, because everything else seemed pretty self-explanatory, but the scars. Scars. Scars limit. Here we go. Scarring the Giant. If the number of wound tokens reaches the wound limit on a weak spot, then the giant has been scarred. Move the wound tokens to the general supply in the play area, not the giant pool, and flip over the card to reveal the scar. Scarred cards will not attack you. Oh, okay, so basically the scar limit, the number of places on that giant when you damage something and make it so that they can't use that spot or that attack or that whatever that thing does, it gets a scar. And so the scars limit shows you how many things can be scarred on a giant. All right. You know what? When I get a chance to actually play it, I will report back and tell you how the game is. But let's go ahead and unbox the expansion. So the regular box is it's a basic board game cardboard. It's very thick. The expansion box, I'm noticing, is less so. It is not. I don't want to say it's like. I don't want to use the word cheaper material, but it's definitely more lightweight material. I'm wondering if it's designed for me to be able to store this stuff in that box as well. So I'm going to be careful not to destroy this getting into it. But here is Wraith and the Giants, New Dawn. New Dawn! Okay. Get the box open. Maybe. If I can figure out how to make boxes work. Alright. So it has a cardboard slide in it. More packages and things. Yeah, I think this is just designed to maybe stack up in the other one. But I'm going to do my best not to destroy it. Just in case, because I don't want to ruin my opportunity to actually hold stuff. Here. There you go. Okay, what do we got here? We have more little baggies, more silica gel, don't eat that. No advertisement in this one. Interesting. Some punches, some punch tokens that I don't recognize. Interesting. And then some new cards for the giant. Interesting. Okay, so the Wraith and the Giants New Dawn, an expansion by Scott Almes. The next age starts as they always have, with the birth of a new Wraith. This generation comes with a surprise: twin girls. Now, two Wraiths take on the mantle and must defend their village from the onslaught of the Giants. And with this wave of attacks come another shock: a new giant made of frightening, twisted metal. So this one basically comes with a new Wraith, or a new giant, the metal giant, and then a new Wraith called the Twin Wraiths. And it says, the Twin Wraiths are the next generation of Wraiths, once again fighting their way through all the Giants. Chronologically, the Twins are played after the Elder Wraith has defeated all the Giants once. If playing the base game and this expansion together, you would play with the Young Wraith, the Adult Wraith, the Elder Wraith, and then the Twins Wraith. Each age should fight through all the Giants. Oh, okay, so you basically play like full cycles to show the generations move. Okay. If you have already fully explored the base game, you may choose to play with the Twins immediately, starting with the Earth Giant. The new Giant, the Metal Giant, is fought after the Fire Giant. Alternatively, you may add the Metal Giant to the base game to use against any Wraith. Oh, okie doke. And then there are special rules on how to do, because again, since I don't know how to play the game as is, I'm not gonna let you know. I'm not gonna tell you, what any of this stuff means. I just know that this expansion comes with all the stuff to be able to play said new giant and wraiths, or wraith, who is twins. It has 2 pawns, which makes sense because there are 2 twins running around, and they are, one has a sword and one has a bow, or they both have bow and sword. They looks like both of them have they both have a bow and a sword. Okay, so they're equipped the same way. I thought maybe that would be one's the range one and one's the close combat one, but that is not the case. And they have their own card here. This one is the Wraith wound limit is 7, and the giant health bonus thing is 7. And then there's this thing with all their actions. Again, no idea how that works. It does say, so you do use someone else's action deck on this card. So while you're using the actions of one of the other wraiths, you have a different gameplay style because of how you have to pick your actions. The stories are clear. The role of wraith passes from grandmother to the fruit of grandmother's daughter. No exceptions. Grandmother had no way of knowing that this inheritance could fall on the collective shoulders of twins. Saving the village from the giants is now a shared responsibility of 2 souls. The twins come together to form a sum greater than their parts as the wraith. They share their skills with blade and bow, allowing 4 hands to weave a symphony of cooperation while they come at the giants from multiple directions at once. With 2 minds and bodies on one mission, there is nothing they cannot handle together. So it's a different gameplay style. Cool. And then we have the Metal Giant. So Metal Giant, scars limit 4, wounds plus 35. So it's not as many bonus wounds as like the Fire Giant was, but I get the impression, seeing that there were tokens that were big shield markers, I get the impression that this is probably something that is very well protected, you know, being made of metal. The Metal Giant. When mankind first smelted ore in furnaces and hammered tools and weapons red hot from the forge, the Metal Giant began to take shape in the bowels of the world. The giants are the heaven's way to remind humanity of its place in the natural order of things, and the Metal Giant is no exception. It is a towering construct of metallic plates surrounding a central body of raw ore, an armored warrior of epic proportions. The Metal Giant is a weapon and little more. The immeasurable strength it possesses to move its titanic weight also makes every motion, every step, into a world-shattering attack. Worse, its armored flesh is nearly impenetrable. Only those skilled enough to find gaps in its plates have any hope of surviving its onslaught. So there you go. That is the New Dawn with our dear friends, the Twin Wraiths. An expansion that allows you to play a new class, a new way to play the game, and a new bad guy in the form of the Metal Giant. The tokens, the meeples, the card playboards, the deck. I mean, everything. Renegade doesn't really do bad products. Like they've always got a solid. Like a solid backing as far as like the production quality of all their things, so that is not surprising at all. And knowing some of the other cool solitaire games that they've put out, I completely believe that this is going to be a super fun game to take up, you know, an hour of your time at a time. And I look forward to giving it a shot. You know, one of these days where, you know, maybe Natalie's watching something on TV and, you know, I don't want to take it away from her to play a video game and I don't feel like working, but I don't feel like painting. I will take the young Wraith and put it up against the Earth Giant and see what happens. And I'll let you guys know when I get that, when I do that, I'll let you know how things go. And hopefully you will follow the link that I put in the description of the video to go get a copy for yourself. Because why not support awesome companies making awesome things and awesome people who write cool stuff for those awesome things? Until then, I would say I don't. Again, I have not played. So I don't want to say, you know, this is a really cool, crazy, awesome mechanic, because I don't know the mechanics. But I have every faith in the product, and even if just for the cool art and amazingly well-written story, you should check it out. Again, it is extremely unlikely that I'm going to have a video next week because of being so busy with Gamma and just getting back. So it will be see you in 2 weeks. And until then, please be safe. Wash your hands, get your shots. Just try to avoid some of the madness that's going on in the world, America particularly right now. Just try and, you know, leave every room a little happier than when you got there. And I think if everybody could do that, we'd be in a much better place. So until I see you again in 2 weeks, have fun and play some games, because you know I will. Bye, guys.